The views expressed on this show are those of the host, guests, and callers, and not those of radio station KICK, Vision Communications Incorporated, its management, or advertisers. Vision Communications Incorporated is not responsible for the validity or accuracy of information presented on this program.
Attention sports fans. Looking for the best in updates and interviews for your high school sports? Well, you found it. You're on board with the Scoreboard Guy.
Certainly glad you've tuned in here to the Missouri Sports Network here, powered by KICK 92.3, sponsored by Great Southern Bank, Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks. The Missouri Highway Patrol reminds us, take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. Shelter Insurance Agent Grant Baker in Aurora, the Bank of Billings, Played Against Sports, Central Bank of the Ozarks, and Doak Propane for all your propane needs. See the folks at Doak. I'll take a few minutes here and visit with Parkview Vikings head football coach and one of my favorite people to visit with, Ben Doherty. And Coach, it's always a great time to get to visit with you. And, last year was really, just a tough season. No quarterback club, all year long. But you guys, you got 6 games in, but, seemed to have been hampered pretty well by the pandemic. Now you've got summer. It's got to feel good to be able to have things on your schedule, things that you can do. You kind of work out this morning. How's it going so far this summer?
Well, first off, Guy, thanks for having me on. It's always great to be able to talk to you too. And yeah, definitely miss quarterback club, getting to, visit with all the other head coaches in town. But summer's been going fine. And you were right. We really got, and it was hard for everybody. It wasn't hard for just us. It was really kind of unfortunate. I think we were the first team to have to kind of forfeit the rest of our season when we got quarantined at the end of the year. I know we didn't end up being the only ones, but I think we were kind of first in that because it happened right after, I think, our 7th game. And with it being, the 14 days quarantine back then, that's kind of what ended our season. So we were able to get in 6 games. We had a good, strong senior class. We also played a lot of younger guys too. Throughout the year because of injuries and because of quarantines from COVID. So I feel like our summer's been going really well so far. I'm really happy with the development we're seeing from a lot of guys. We have our Viking team camp this week, and so far that's been going really well. Been seeing a lot of guys that are having to step up in spots, and being surprised by some people too. So it's been a really fun summer so far. We're ready to get back into action and kind of make up for lost time last year.
As coaches and, spending some time in that profession myself, we always look for opportunities for teaching moments, even when there's bad situations that occur. I've had athletes that have, torn their ACL and had to miss an entire season. We've gone through the pandemic where seniors lost their entire seasons. And a lot of times they learn a lot about themselves, about the game. What are some of those life lessons that you notice your kids have picked up, and maybe you even as a young coach learned from? What did you learn from this past season?
I think from the kids' perspective, and something we even talked about last year, was you can't take anything for granted. And that was kind of a theme that we went through with last year too, because we knew that there was a chance with how kind of the pandemic was going last year that we weren't guaranteed a game from week to week. That first week we thought we were going to be on a bye because Waynesville had to quarantine for a couple weeks. We ended up picking up Lighthouse Christian, but I think the kids realized that this could be taken away from them at any time, and it still can this year. We're not out of the woods yet when it comes to having to quarantine. If anybody were to test positive from COVID or anything like that. So that's something that I think the kids have learned. And for me, I think that to continue to have backup plans, as a coach, and any other coach can testify to this, you always have a plan A, B, C, D. I think what this has shown me is that you got to have plans for the backup plans, even going on beyond that. just because you never know when somebody's going to get hurt. You never know, especially right now, when somebody could get quarantined. Our starting quarterback, Caden Burks, got popped and had to quarantine because he was a secondary exposure. So he missed the first game against Lighthouse Christian. So we had to throw somebody in there, a backup quarterback, to be able to play. And that's just something that you constantly have to prepare for. So I think we're always prepared as a head coach. I'm always prepared for somebody to get hurt or that, but continuing to prepare for, even something as crazy as last year was.
We're visiting with Ben Doherty, the head coach of the Parkview Vikings. And Coach Doherty, this is powered by here 92.3 KICK, Springfield, Missouri, home of the Royals. Talk about your team coming into this season. What are some kids that you look to maybe step up? What some kids that you're going to have to replace? What are some of the expectations going into this season? And maybe some kids' names that we need to write down and kind of pay attention to what kind of season they have.
Right. Well, definitely, we've got some 3-year starters that will be 3-year starters this year on the team. Caden Burks, our quarterback, has been starting since he was a sophomore. He kind of got thrown into the fire as a sophomore and has been doing a really good job for us the last couple of years. So we're expecting big things from him since he only got to play 5 games last year. A couple other guys that are 3-year starters for us. Shane Glass at corner is also going to see some time at receiver for us. He's a big, tall, lanky kid, 6'4", 180. So he's kind of everything that you want in a defensive back. Carl Thomas is another good-looking kid, plays outside linebacker and running back for us. All 3 of those kids are seniors. Isaiah Farley is another kid that's a 3-year starter for us. He actually is going to be a 4-year letterman because he got some time at DB as a freshman, but he started at DB as a sophomore and then made the transition last year to kind of a utility, kind of a jack of all trades type kid for us. Play some receiver, play some running back. He'll play some DB as well. As far as kids we got to replace, Devon Holt was a 3-year starter for us on the offensive line. So we're looking at guys like Eric Anderson, who will be a 3-year starter as a junior for us at center. Covey Heslin is going to be a 2-year starter for us at tackle. Junior Lamar is another kid that's going to be a 3-year letterman at safety for us. There's tons of kids that we're really excited about. Kids that got to start last year and some kids that will be getting some playing time this year. A name I think for people to recognize will be Chris Anderson. Chris is our leading returning receiver, led us at receiving yards and receiving touchdowns last year. He's one of the fastest kids in the area. So we're really excited about him. But there's tons of guys that I could go on about that we're really, really excited about.
Coach, we're sitting, we're just 3 weeks maybe out of fall practices starting. What's your schedule look like now for the rest of the summer leading into that dead period?
Right. So we've got, like I said, we had our Viking team camp this week. That finishes out tomorrow. We're actually having a little youth mini camp next Monday and Tuesday. We got another team camp day on Wednesday, and then we're actually going out to Evangel on Thursday and Friday, the 22nd and 23rd, with our 10th through 12th graders to have a fun time out there with Coach Heppel and his staff and some other teams from the area. And then that last week of July, we've got some team camp days, and then we're finishing out. We're going back down to visit with one of my mentors and guys that I look up to, and Coach Hayes down at Branson in their camp on the 29th. So we're finishing up there on the 29th, and then the kids are off, and we start back up with fall practice on August 9th.
Outstanding. Coach, talk a little bit about, here in the last few minutes, your coaching staff. Did you retain everyone? I know you kind of stepped up from an assistant coach to a head coach, and I know that's everyone's goal.
Mm-hmm.
Who talk about some of the folks that are on your staff?
Yeah, so Jeff Klein and Scott Mitchell are 2 guys on my offensive staff that they're the 2 that have been here the longest. They've been here longer than I have, and I'm entering my 11th year here. Coach Klein's as experienced as they come. He's got head coaching experience at private schools in Tennessee, and he was head coach previously at Mountain View Liberty and Willard, and also has assistant coaching experience at Hillcrest. And then he's been here, I think this is his 16th year. I've got a great mix of experience and youth. Darius Blows, a guy that's going to step into a defensive play calling role for us this year. He's been here for 10 years now. He started at Missouri State as a player and played at Grandview up in Kansas City. And then I've got a couple actually alumni on staff as well in Joshua Deal and Greg Robinson. Greg and Josh both played offensive line for us here. Then I've actually been able to hire some new guys that we're excited about. Guys like Josh Henry is joining us from Louisiana. He's a very experienced coach. To Lacey Wilder and Dallas Hester, who some names some people might recognize because they both started Evangel, and Dallas also starred at Stratford High School a few years ago. And then really excited to get Brandon Newell is another guy that's going to be joining us from Lebanon. He played at Lebanon and then has coached the last couple of years at Marquette High School up in St. Louis. So I've got a good, healthy mix of veterans and youth, and so far we're meshing together very well, and we're very excited about that.
Kind of now just a little bit of a where are they now kind of segment. You keep track of the kids that have moved on. I know you've had some outstanding athletes there that have played it for you there at Parkview. Do you kind of keep tabs on those guys at all, or have any contact with them?
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny you mentioned that guy. I actually Blake Dela Cruz was up here a couple of weeks ago and visited with us. He's doing great down at Harding University. He's looking to get some playing time down there. So I'm excited to be able to go down there and watch him. Tyrone Newbern's actually a guy that played receiver for us, caught 15 touchdowns back in 2018 on that team that made it to the district championship game. He's actually kind of bounced around a little bit, but it looks like he's found a home actually here at Evangel here in town. He started showing up for them, and the coaches over there are really excited about him. So I'm excited to see him next week and then be able to watch him here in town. Ethan Day, another guy from that 2018 team, is at Independence Community College right now. He's shown up there and has done great as starting for them, but is looking to kind of move on to bigger and better things from there. So I'm excited to see what he does from there. And then Devon Holt and Anthony Green, two guys from last year's team, are getting to head up to Mid-America Nazarene with one of our former head coaches, Paul Hansen. So we're excited to see what they do over the next couple of years as well.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, as always, it's always great to visit with you. And, I appreciate you being generous with your time. I know you just got off the practice field and kind of hurried in and got your nice little logo back there behind you. So, hey, I appreciate your time. And, hey, best of luck. And I know we'll be visiting with each other again.
Yep, thanks, Guy. I always appreciate you having me on. It's good to talk to you. Thank you again.
You bet. Coach Ben Doherty, Parkview Vikings, brought to you by Central Bank of the Ozarks and the Missouri State Highway Patrol. We'll be back after this. Coach, we're done. We're clear.
Okay. Was the sound quality okay?
I think so. I had a couple of spots that jumped up that said it was low bandwidth, but we'll see what happens. We'll get her done. Thanks, Coach.
All right. Thanks, Guy. Let me know if you need anything else.
All right, you bet. Of the Missouri Sports Network, powered by KICK 92.3 and sponsored by the Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks, Central Bank of the Ozarks, Great Southern Bank. And we're pleased to be joined now by the Rolla Bulldogs head football coach, John Franks. Coach Franks, hey, thanks so much for your time today.
Hey, Guy, thanks for having me, man. It's a great opportunity, way out here east of Springfield. It's nice you guys cover us and give our guys an opportunity to get a little bit of attention. So we appreciate you taking your time.
Hey, you bet. And Coach, first off, before we talk a little bit about this season, last year, 5-4 on the season, but a lot of things to build on. You get a regular season final, a win against Camdenton, 28-10. You have a running back, Hayden Fain, I believe, went for over 200 yards rushing in that game, just a junior. Talk about last year and the steps that the Bulldogs made.
Well, we were definitely happy with last year. Obviously everybody faced a lot of adversity with the COVID situation. So, we fought through that. We definitely felt like we left some wins on the table, through either injury or missing some guys or, not just playing the game right. Because, we go up and play battle and we play a great game and we end up turning the ball over 7 times. And you don't beat anybody in the state when you turn over the ball 7 times, much less at the time the number 1 ranked team in the state. But we were really, that kind of was pretty frustrating. But we thought we did, as far as the program, we continue to keep moving the program in the right direction. We're trying to develop that culture where you play hard, you play great football, take care of the football, and play great defense. And we're not there yet, but we think we keep making little steps here and there, during the season, during off season. And it's just kind of it's a little slower process than you want, but we're excited that it just keeps building.
Coach, as you look at last year coming back, and obviously the high school students are not in a situation like the NCAA and the NAIA athletes where they can come back and take another shot at their senior year or their junior year. So what are you going to have to replace as we look forward to the 2021 season? Who are some of those key guys that moved on because of graduation, and who are some of the folks that are maybe either going to have to pick up some of the slack or maybe going to have to step into some starting roles?
Well, I think, we were fortunate that we got to play last year, so we didn't lose, like in track. This year when we did track, we had 2 freshman groups because our sophomores didn't get a freshman season. So there was a lot of inexperience with those guys. But football, we did get to play. We did get to practice. Obviously it was kind of up and down, but we continue to get better. We were pretty young last year, so we did not graduate just a ton of kids. We had I wouldn't say a small senior class, but I think we got rid of 15 graduated. Most of our group was junior. We were pretty junior laden last year because we've got 8/9 returners back on offense and 7 on defense. So we've got to replace some guys in the secondary on the defensive side. And we graduated 2 free safeties, a free and a strong. So we got to get better there. Graduated Isaac Hunter, which was very explosive for us on both sides of the football. But we think, we've got some kids to replace, and, kind of going in this year, we feel like one of our strengths is our experience, but we are fighting some issues from the COVID as well. Still, I think a lot of my friends I talk to and visit with, numbers are down a little bit, and we're no different. Our numbers are probably going to be as low as they've been since I've been here at Rolla, starting year 6, but still good numbers, but just down. So I think we're still fighting coming out of that, sitting at home, being at home stuff. So we're excited for this year, though.
Now, we used to call it eating potato chips, sitting in the air conditioning and watching Days of Our Lives. Just you get used to that, and it's hard to get kids out of that mode. But Coach, and we're visiting with Coach John Franks from the Rolla Bulldogs, head coach, and this segment brought to you by Dope Propane in Bolivar, Missouri, and Bank of Billings. Bank of Billings established 1889, the oldest bank in Christian County. Coach, what's it been like over the summer? I know last summer, the coaches I visit with, they didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to handle it. They didn't have a lot of things on their schedule, and now they're grateful that this summer they're busy. They're getting to see their kids and things of that nature. What's the summer been like for the Bulldogs?
The summer's been really good. It has been busy. All the coaches want to get everything done in June. Baseball, basketball, football. We're really big on multi-sport athletes here at Rolla. I know all the head coaches, we really push our guys to be in multi-sports. So our guys are pretty busy. And but I think that they have, like you hit on, they're grateful they get to do it now because, they learned some lessons, much like my son, he didn't get his senior year in track. It's just over. And, we had several kids that all they did was track and they didn't get to have their senior year. So, again, we really push him to be in multiple sports, enjoy high school, and be a participant for our community. So it's been a good summer. We've gotten better. We lost our offensive coordinator, Coach Shockley. He took the athletic director job at his hometown of St. James. So you guys probably know the familiar name of Schuchart, Bill Schuchart. His youngest son, Joe, is our offensive coordinator now. So we've had a little bit of change offensively, not much. Kids have just had to get used to a couple of new terminology and a little bit of change, but it's been really good. It's been fun. We've not had any injuries. I know we've had I think we've been like everybody else. We've had a little hit of COVID here in the last couple of weeks, but we'll get through it and we'll be healthy and ready to go in August 9th.
Coach, now as you look forward to this 2021 season, actually week 1 going to be part of our high school game day that we'll be doing throughout communities throughout the football season in volleyball, softball. But week 1 on Friday, because I can walk there, we're going to be at Bolivar for the Rolla-Bolivar game. What are your expectations here as you head into this season, provided everyone's healthy?
Well, obviously Bolivar's been a phenomenal add to the Ozark Conference. There's a great tradition there. Obviously I started my career at Stockton, lived in Stockton, so I know all about Bolivar. I know it's a great community. Glenn's done a phenomenal job there, and the Bolivar kids are great kids. They're big, they're physical, they have a lot of pride, and it's just going to be a good football game because, week 1, much like last year, they were loaded with experience and it ended up a great game, but because of week 1, it's hot, the ball gets turned over. So, we know what we're going to get from Bolivar. We're going to get big, physical, line up and do things right. And, just Ozark Conference football. So they're not really going to surprise us. Last year when they stepped on the football field, I was absolutely in shock with how I knew they were big, but they were bigger than my college offensive line. So I was amazed. But Glenn does a great job. He's got a great staff, and so we know it's going to be a good ball game.
As you look at the Ozark Conference, coming into this year with the Kickapoos, the Camdentons have had a lot of success. West Plains has been very good. There's no weeks off in the entire conference. I mean, it's a struggle to get through it, especially now you've added Bolivar to it, formerly a COC, then they were independent, for a while, but there's not really a week off in the Ozark Conference.
No, and there really hasn't been. Last time there was a week off was when I went with Will to Lebanon, and year 1, we were the week off at Lebanon. So now there's no weeks off in the schedule at all. Everybody plays great football, and everybody in the Ozark Conference has great athletes. And so you have to prepare week in and week out, and you got to do things right. And that's kind of the big push always with our kids, block, tackle, take care of the football, and you're going to win a lot of football games if you play with great effort.
And we're visiting again with John Franks, the head football coach for the Rolla Bulldogs. Coach, here it is mid-July. What are the plans here leading up to that August 9th? Is that the first day of practice? What between now and then? Have you got a vacation? Is there a dead period? What are the Bulldogs doing between now and then?
Yep. Right now, this week, we have wrapped up the summer. We're in our last camp for say at home. We went up to St. Louis and did the team camp early in the summer, and we've wrapped it up this week with camp. And then our kids will get 2 weeks off to get away, get fresh, go be teenagers, and hopefully not get in trouble. and then we'll start August 9th, and we start practicing in the evenings. We used to do the morning thing, but our staff's getting older, and these old guys like going in the evening time. So we've moved our practices and camps into the evening, and it's been, you don't have to get your shoes wet in the dew, and it's a little bit more enjoyable. I think the kids like it better as well. But it's been a good long summer. We'll wrap up Friday with a scrimmage and a little food, and then our kids will go away, and I know I'm going to start a little vacation and try to keep my family happy.
You bet. Well, Coach, as always, we certainly appreciate you being generous with your time, and hopefully there on that week one high school game day at Bolivar, we'll get to visit with you. We'll be set up there from 4 to 6, and maybe talk to a few fans from both teams, and kind of mirroring it after the college game day, but an opportunity in Southwest Missouri, high school sports, especially with the COVID. We thought, hey, this is a great opportunity to maybe, get the fans back in the stands and get them back involved. And we're looking forward to that week one, but we hope to see you there and see you again and talk to you throughout the season. Well,
again, we appreciate the time. It takes a lot to cover all of Southwest Missouri and to involve us and keep us part of it. And we're extremely thankful and look forward to visiting with you week one.
All right. Coach, have a great day. God bless. Stay safe.
All right, guy. Thank you very much.
Sports fans, and welcome to Missouri Sports Network. I'm Guy Newcomb, the scoreboard guy. Certainly glad you've tuned in, and powered as always by KICK 92.3, Great Southern Bank, Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks, the Missouri State Highway Patrol, Bank of Billings, Shelter Insurance, Grant Baker in Aurora, Plating and Sports, and Doak Propane. We're pleased to welcome to the Missouri Sports Network now, the Missouri Sports Network, where everyone has a home field advantage. Head football coach of the Camden Lakers, Jeff Shore. Coach Shore, hey, thanks so much for making yourself available today.
Hey, Guy, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to get on here, and I'm glad I was able to figure out how to do it.
I'll tell you what, it's summertime. You guys you're coming off of a vacation, and now you're getting ready to get back in it. And I tell you what, it's got to be nice after a year ago at this time, being able to be busy and plan things and get some things done. What's it been like for the Lakers here over the summer?
Yeah, hey, you're right on that. We, last year was a little bit of a fiasco. We did a good job here. Our school did of getting everything in, but we had to. There's a lot of rearranging. This summer has been. We've kept the schedule. Been a great summer for us. We had a super busy June. We went, a full week of camp, and then we call Tuesday night footballs where we get together and the parents feed them, and we practice from 7 to 9 or so in the evening, and then so we look forward to that. And then we went to a team camp up at Culver Stockton in Canton, Missouri, and played some live football there, which was really, really fun. We had a really good outing there. Came through the June injury free, which is always great, and really felt like we had great attendance. We got huge numbers right now. We had to, order more helmets. I don't know if other football coaches are listening or people. It's hard to get football helmets right now. I don't know if you've heard that or not, but it's a tough deal right now. We got ours ordered in time, thank goodness. But that's going to be a little bit of an issue as the season approaches, because I think they shut down orders. Rydell did. So, that's one of those things that I felt lucky that we got in under the wire on that. But it's been a really good June for us. We take a lot of July off. So we still have our lifting and stuff, but I really try to give the kids a lot of time to go on vacation with their families and things like that. So we'll crank up again here at the end of July. And then, of course, the real thing starts August 9th.
Yeah, as you look at that between now and August 9th, kind of what's in store for Camden. You mentioned you got kids going on vacation or heading out to the lake. But between now and that August 9th date, what's in store for the Lakers?
Yeah, so the 26th of July, we'll get back together again, and we have a evening camps. We go from usually 6 to 9, Monday through Thursday. We never have camp on Friday at Lake of the Ozarks, guy, because it's Friday at Lake of the Ozarks. It's hard to get them there. But I learned that a long time ago. That's one of the benefits of growing up here. You kind of know the nuances, you know. So we go Monday through Thursday, and we hit it pretty hard there. And then we'll take another week off. We'll take that week off. That's a kind of a dead period there. And you know, one more chance if you're going to do something, get out of town, because we hope to be playing a long time. You know, we always try to plan to play till all the way till Thanksgiving. That's our plan. So, you know, sometimes you accomplish that, sometimes you don't, but that's the plan. So once we start, it's a long stretch drive. So we'll give them another week there, and then we'll get back together and start it at the 9th. And then, you know, it goes quick after that, because you got this, you know, first week, and then you got your jamboree and then ball games. So it rolls pretty quick.
Coach, as you look at, you know, go back a couple of years, back in that 18-19 season, you guys were 23 and 2 or 23 and 3 at that point. You know, last year you kind of toss out just a little bit. But what do you have to that's coming back that we need to be paying attention to? And then what are you going to have to replace that you lost off of last year's squad?
Sure, you're right. You know, we had a pretty great 2-year run there. And then last year actually was a good season. I got no complaints. Our kids played hard, had some big wins in the season. We were just kind of up and down, you know, a little hot and cold. And we're really young. So we've got a lot of guys coming back, you know, this year from last year's team that contributed a lot. And a lot of guys are waiting in the wings. It'll be juniors and seniors this year that will still be pretty young. But we lost, you know, our quarterback last year, had a good year, Jake Wormsley, and he split time with Bear Shore. And early on, then Jake kind of took it over later in the season, and he had a really good season. So Bear will step into that spot. He's had a great summer. You know, he's already got some varsity experience under his belt, obviously. So that's looked good. We got receivers, a young set of receivers. Will be predominantly sophomore and junior dominated on the receiving end. And, you know, if you've watched our offense, you know, we throw the ball every play. So it's you need 10 good receivers, and we got, I think, 12 right now that are guys that could play. So that's a hazard. Coop is my nephew. Coop caught 109 catches last year, 109 receptions. So that's a lot of balls to catch. You know, that was he was the tops in the nation there, and obviously in the state of Missouri, I think he was number 1. So we'll have to replace Coop. And then defense has grown. We're going to have some good speed. I think our defense is going to kind of mesh with our offense a little bit, play fast, you know, come at different angles and different guys playing hard. We're kind of built for speed there. So, you know, all those things so far in the summer have looked good. That's kind of the plan here as we go, kind of mesh that defense with the offense and play a little more attacking style there.
You know, with being young a year ago and obviously the tradition there at Camdenton, you've got to have great numbers. What are your numbers like, you know, coming into the 2021 season?
Yeah, they're tremendous. We've had, and I'm really thankful for that. You know, I think some places numbers are going down. We seem to be going exactly the opposite way. You know, I attribute it to a lot of different things. I attribute to our coaching staff, as far as, you know, most been here from the junior high on up, have been here a long time, and they're really rooted in Laker, you know, Laker Nation, as you'd say, or whatever. They're rooted in that, and they really enjoy coaching football. And you know, we have a lot of fun playing here. I have a lot of fun coaching. I think the second thing to attribute to is maybe our offense. There's a lot of ways guys in the ball games, you know, and I hate to use the word too much, but they're extremely fun. You know, it's like scrimmage every day, basically, because you're You're throwing the ball every play, and it's the best part of everything that you want to do in offense. If you're a quarterback, you want to throw it every play. If you're a receiver, you want to have a chance to catch it. And if you're an offensive lineman, you predominantly like pass blocking, but you like run blocking, So, and then the interesting thing is it's easier to get a defense to play against you too, because it's all the favorite parts of defense. You get to rush the quarterback, defend the pass, and blitz. So that was the unintended consequence, and we kind of went to what we're doing now. And I think it's made our practices more, more like playing backyard football. And I think play, I guess you would say. So I think that brings more kids out. It's kind of like basketball practice. If you get to scrimmage all day long, that's a pretty fun practice, So that's kind of the way we do it in football. So I think that's contributed to our numbers. And then obviously our tradition and then our success we've had too is great. Football is very exciting here, and it's a great place to play. It's a fun place to run out on a Friday night. And so it's all those things combined. It really has helped our numbers. We've got huge numbers right now. And so, I'm certainly glad to see that.
You talked about the numbers on the player side. What does your assistant coaching staff look like? Talk about some of those guys. Have they been there a while? Or you've got new guys coming in. I know that, obviously there's, with the success that you've had and the tradition there, you've got folks that want to be a part of it. Maybe you've got guys that have come back, have played there, went to college, and stepped back in. Talk about a little bit about your assistant coaches.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because like I said, it is a unique situation, and I'm super fortunate. And we all kind of follow the same line there. Played here for Bob Shore, my dad, and really one thing I ever want to do is come back here and be a part of it again and get to coach it. And so most of our guys are like that too. I've got Coach Bruck, who's the defensive coordinator, that was an all-state linebacker for us in '99, played on a state championship team. I've got Sean Machino, who was an all-state defensive back, played with me at the same time in the 88 years, 87, 88 years. We've got Tim McDuffie, who also played here, played at Missouri State, and then played here. The coach is with us, all-state player as well, played on a state championship team. Got Par Pitts, who also played on a state championship team, is my age. He's in that early 50s range, and played here. We got Andrew Knowlton, call him Diesel Hog, who has been here forever. He did not graduate here, but he's been here for a long time, and he bleeds purple and is coaching the varsity staff for over a decade. I've got Travis Ezard, who coached our freshman, who is also grew up playing here, all-state receiver. I've got Daniel Edson, who's all-state quarterback here, coaching for us. I got Travis Sanford, also an all-state player here, that is coaching for us. I've got Brett Edson, who's an all-state punter here, coaching for us. I can keep going. I can keep going down the list. I got Charlie Gordon, who's an all-state player here for us, coaching for us. And I got Cole Walker, who's an all-state player here for us, won a state championship coaching for us. So that's just on our kind of our varsity staff right there. So that's it's a unique deal. I mean, we're all, put it this way, there's no motivation. We all want the Lakers to win, and we all bleed purple. And so and we've all been through it. And we've all, predominantly grew up here. So it's a pretty outstanding deal. And up until last year, I had my dad coaching junior high football, has 367 wins under his belt. So it's kind of funny to see sometimes the officials, they'll get on an official in a middle school game, and then they'll figure out who he is, and they'll come back and say, "Coach, I'm sorry. I didn't know that was you. That was a bad call. I apologize. That won't happen again." So I get a kick out of that. So yeah, needless to say, it's a family tradition here.
You've got to have your coaches meetings in an auditorium. That's a large staff, but obviously with that tradition, folks are ready to be a part of it. And Coach, how did you sell going back, that 4 or 5 years or whatever, when you kind of changed offenses, went to this kind of, 5 wide, thrown all over the field? How did you sell that? Number one, how'd you sell to your dad?
Well, that's a great question. First, let me go back because I left out a lot of my junior high guys. I got Dickerson, Spradling. They both played football here, were all state players for us. And I also got Coach Schaefer, who's been here forever, played at Jeff City Jays, which is pretty good lineage, and Coach Hunt. So there's some other guys in there too I even left out, but I need to mention those guys. I'm sure I've left somebody out. So if they're listening, I apologize. But going to the 5 wide, yeah, that was a good that was interesting. So I could sit here and talk about that all day long. And kind of what happened for us was the evolution for us was we had a good ball club in 17. And I had one of my own sons playing. He's a senior. It's good. We had a good ball team, good offensive line, good crew. It was a good bunch of kids. And we had a good season and went down to Webb in a district game and couldn't move the football. And, we've been back and forth with Webb. The previous time we'd played them before then was 05 at their place and had beat them and then went on to win the state championship. But then we'd gone up to Class 5. And they'd stayed in 4, and that's the first time we'd seen them again. And anyway, we go down there and had a good ball club and could not move the football on them. And so that off season, I knew I had some quarterbacks coming along, and we tried to defense Glendale. Coach Mock there at Glendale does a great job of running that's what I would call the 5 wide offense. We call it the Tide, and so it's not really the spread. It's a whole different deal. So basically I spent all winter long and studied some game film and came up with my own version of what I thought we could teach and how it could work. So anyway, yeah, we did that. I actually did sit down and talk to my dad before it. And he said, hey, if it's something you believe in, you think it'll work, that's hey, more power to you, on it. So I was ready for a change. I've been coaching a long time, and I felt like that it was something that could give us a little spark. Hopefully get us back to where we could compete for the state championship. So we put it in, and boy, our kids just took to it. I mean, we took to it. Unfortunately, all the study I had done in the winter kind of paid off like I thought it would as far as teaching it. That was going to be the hardest part, but we came up with our own system of it. So we know inside and out our own version of it. And the kids loved it. They hopped on board and they didn't want to stop practicing. I think that was the main thing for me was they didn't want to stop practicing football. So I couldn't get them off the practice field on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. They wanted to keep going and keep scrimmage. And we would play for pizza. The offense versus the defense, the first team to 5 points. We scored 5 touchdowns before they stopped us 5 times. And, then we win pizza and then the other way through. So, and they just didn't want to stop playing football. So we had a great time with it. We were blessed with a really fantastic quarterback in Paxton DeLaurent. He really took to it well. And so that's kind of how it came about. And then, from there, it really was something that it really was a benefit for us. I think the first year we ran it, we were the number 1 offense in the state of Missouri. We scored more points than anyone, I believe. And I think we were 3 the next year. I think we were up there last year, at certain times in the top 5, 3. So it was just one of those deals. It was the right time and the right setting for us. And it really gave us that little shot of adrenaline, I guess you'd say. And from there, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Did you, going back to those 87, 88 seasons, did you ever think you would see the Lakers, throwing the ball 70 times a game?
No. Yeah, my dad, Bob Short, it makes him kind of mad because he always got the rap and just run the balls. But we actually threw it a little bit back then as well. We threw for quite a few yards from that day and age. It was pretty good, but it was a lot of play action stuff. It was set up with the run for sure. So, it's interesting though. It's been a good deal, but no, I never have. And a couple of my coaches, good friends, thought we were a little crazy when we started it. Now they don't want to do anything else. So it's worked out pretty good for us. There's an ugly side to it too. On occasion we've experienced a couple times, but there's also an ugly side to running the football as well if you can't run it. So it's an interesting deal. Like I said, the main thing is my kids. My players do not want to stop practicing. They love practicing, football on it. And that right there is half the battle for sure.
You bet. Well, Coach Shore, we've been visiting with Jeff Shore, the head football coach of Campton Lakers. And hey, I always appreciate your time. I know we'll get to visit here throughout the season, but thanks for being part of the Missouri Sports Network here. And we will, as always, stay right on top of the Campton Lakers. And if you guys need anything, just contact us and we'll make sure we get the word out. And I appreciate your time today.
I really appreciate it and all you do to promote high school sports. Appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Hey, you bet. We'll step away and we'll be back after this here on the Missouri Sports Network.